Alright, welcome to my channel. This is the first time I will be trying a voiceover format with my island, and there's something different I want to do today. So my island, as you can see here, is filled with like city aesthetic. Like I tried to replicate a sort of maybe like Providence, Boston type area with the water near the city. So I wanted to replicate that here. And I realized after completing my island there wasn't a lot of cohesiveness. Like a lot of my island doesn't really fit together. So there's like a whole like Disney area here, and it's like a theme here. Then there's like a little candy land theme here, and then here is just Roswell's mansion, just casually. And then here's the walls for basically Attack on Titan, to prevent them from getting attacked. So everyone lives in the walls. Yeah, so there's different themes going on, and you have like just like more city, and there's open brick area, which it was nice while it lasted. I am ready for something different, something new with this island. And as I go through my island, I am seeing where I'm going to put things. And basically this transition I'm making is going to turn my entire island into my childhood neighborhood growing up. And the reason I'm doing this is because it would appear a lot in my dreams, and I kind of want to take my island to the next level. I did post a video previously where in my island there's some dream locations where like this red CBS was right here. So there's some locations that I would see in my dreams. Like I would see like this electric futuristic like bus stop sign in my dreams. What else? I think that's mostly, oh yeah, this like building was something that I saw in my dreams, but it was like in a different area. This kind of beach setting layout was something I saw in my dreams as well. Like an amusement park area where there's like bathrooms and changing spots in the beginning of it. That's something that was in my dream too, but they were like dilapidated inside and kind of creepy and haunting. So I think I want to turn this entire island into a reoccurring dream that I tend to have, which is me appearing in my neighborhood as a child, and it just being obscure, kind of creepy in a way. But making this will make my island completely cohesive, since everything will have a place to go. There won't be any individual themes anymore, like this random popcorn store. This was something else I saw in my dream before, so I put like it was like a creepy like popcorn stop, but it was like isolated in my dream, so I put it by itself here. So yeah, I want to take on this project basically of recreating my childhood neighborhood, and let's see where it takes us. And also this format I'm doing, I basically don't have the second monitor, so I'm viewing everything through the video software. So I'm going to be creating everything on here through a little window. In case I do have a hard time seeing things, it's because everything's super small in my eyes. So a little twist I wanted to put on my island renovations is I also wanted to talk about basically, I guess this may be a trigger warning if mental health topics, things that are a bit darker, like mental hospitals and psychiatric care, not psychiatric care, but mental institutions, if those are things that are kind of creepy or unsettling for you, then it's best to click off. I would say I will be recounting my time at a mental institute, along with several delusions that I had that led up to the instance of me being institutionalized. but I will be doing it while creating like a nice aesthetic area just to soften the blow of, I guess, revisiting this topic. And I think it's good to get this out just because, you know, it can sit on your mind, and if you never release it, it just builds up and it builds up, and kind of putting it out and talking about it has healed me in a large part. So here goes nothing. I'm going to delete everything. So we are going to put everything away. Alright, so we're just going to store everything that we can because we are starting completely fresh, and I hope that my islanders or the people that live here are not upset, because that would be terrible. For full disclosure, I was mentally unwell last year, and this year has been definitely eye-opening in terms of what I went through last year, because I'm not in the situation anymore to be so close, and being so close kind of like blows things out of proportion in your head to where it's just everything's happening at once and you can't really have time to think about what's going on. And I've had time to sit and think, pray, meditate, understand a lot of where things were coming from. Okay. So I guess some houses I can't remove, or is it just because, let's see. Okay, I can't remove the houses, that's fine. Can't remove people's houses. This is the first time I'm completely demolishing my island. Oh, hold up, right here. We're gonna leave the graveyard. We are going to leave the graveyard. Rest in peace to our family members. Hello? Oh, the gravestones are right there. Okay. I was like, where'd the gravestones go? Okay, so they're right here. I'm gonna leave this memorial here. I'm not gonna leave this, I'm not gonna touch this at all just because it's very special to me and very important that it stays there, just because I designed it with a lot of emotion and care the way I set it up. So I'll just leave it there. Alright. Where does this story begin? I guess it wasn't an all-at-once thing where I guess the delusions were roaming free in my head and just everything together. That all didn't occur all at once. It started very small. I guess the place it started was with fear. I will start with there. It started with fear about what was going on in the world, and that led to me isolating myself more and having thoughts just sit in my head more. Oh no, I touched a tree. Oh no, it's not. Okay, we're good. Okay. So, as someone who has now experienced that downfall of holding things in and not talking about them, I highly encourage anyone going through anything similar where you have thoughts that you don't understand and they're turning into something darker. I would definitely try to talk to someone about it. Anyone. It doesn't matter who. Actually, it does matter because, you know, in a sensitive situation where your mental is not well, there are people that can make it worse, and I will talk about that as well. I also don't want to phrase anything incorrectly, so I will, for full disclosure, say that none of this that I am saying now is something that I still believe, because I know that dwelling into those delusions and feeding them was the problem. Confirming everything through context and not through specific facts, if that makes sense. Like, everything around me was confirming everything in my head, but nothing was being confirmed, I guess, on paper for a more, I guess, physical representation of what went on. Did I just delete the manor? Hold up. Not the whole manor, because, yeah, the positioning is too good for me. I'll probably move it as a whole somewhere, but I don't know where yet. Okay. Alright. Before I knew I was experiencing symptoms of schizophrenia, I mostly just thought I was embracing a new feeling I was having, and I didn't understand what the feeling was. I thought that I was changing in a good way, and since I had no idea what was actually happening in my head, like I just took everything as, oh, this is me finding myself, finding my voice, because I started to feel passionate about certain topics, and I started to be more outspoken and more, I guess, aggressive in what I was passionate about and believed in and stood on and stood for. That is good by itself, right? To be passionate about things you love and be passionate about things that impact people around you or you. That's always a great thing to care about people around you and stuff. But the thing is I was diving too much into it, too much exposure to what was going on bad in the world and not enough of what was going on that was good. And I think with that, real quick, let me figure this out, because I have a map of my neighborhood. So I think I'm going to default everything as asphalt, because asphalt is going to be the primary ground that my neighborhood has. A lot of parking lot space, so everything will be asphalt. I think, yeah, we'll deal with the Disney Castle later. So now we're just gonna go through everything with asphalt. Should I do that? Yeah. Probably not the edges. The edges don't make sense for asphalt, because it probably will be wood around the edges. Actually, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna make the center of the island more asphalt than the edges, because the edges will be more obscure and more like woodsy, just to kind of create like a enclosed feeling. So I don't want this to really feel like an island, more like a neighborhood, more like a city, almost city/neighborhood. Okay. I wish I could zoom out. That would be way better. What just happened? Okay, what did I just do? Oh, we are fumbling the bag. Okay. Wait a second. Now I just did this wrong again. Hold on. Because you see, this is how I know I did it wrong. This is a lighter gray. This is the darker gray that I want. And that darker gray only comes from the path. So we will go and take the path right here. Perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Alright, now we're gonna go back. I don't think I'll have the walls here anymore, so I think Attack on Titan is just gonna stay in my memory and not really in my island. Okay, because we're gonna turn this whole place into a thick neighborhood. What is that? What is that there? That won't. Oh, it's probably like a. Yes, it's a building. Okay. Yeah. So while diving into these topics that were hurting me in the head and very sensitive, that I was not being careful diving into, considering how much anxiety I already had as a person. I already was a person that was anxious and had anxiety, but then adding on to it, I dived into more of like things that were just causing and creating more fear, and almost hit the cemetery again. Okay. Yeah, causing more fear. So the fear, I think, turned into paranoia. Paranoia turned into mania or manic behaviors. Manic behaviors turned into psychosis. Psychosis being consistent with the hallucinations, audio and visual hallucinations I was having. At the second hospital, I was then diagnosed with schizophrenia. Up until then, I did not know I had it. I did not know what I was going through. I did not know what could make sense of my brain. And to make sense of what was going on in my brain, I think I resorted to more of the delusions that I had to try to make sense of what was going on in my reality. It's a weird, I think in my head, the way I try to rationalize why I did that was it might have been a coping mechanism. I didn't have the answers in front of me, so my brain just resorted to creating the answers and finding that anchor of security in not, in everything not being unknown, if that makes sense, because more things that are unknown causes more fear when you don't know what's happening. I guess that made it worse. At the first, actually I'll go in order. So to start with, it's a little hard to start with where it began, but there was some sort of, it felt like a prophecy I needed to fulfill. And to fulfill that prophecy, it felt like I needed to solve everything by myself. Like no outsiders could be involved. If they were, I had to give hints, because if I gave hints and they already knew what was going on, that means that was a confirmation, if that makes sense. Like I thought it was me confirming that they knew already. And as someone who is currently not medicated and was diagnosed in October of 2025, I do hope I can explain this well enough, because I am in a better headspace for sure. I'm not indulging in these delusions, and I'm seeking a lot of therapy through journaling and meditation. So I'm not letting it take hold anymore. What it felt like is something was taking hold of me. Like I don't want to say like I wasn't in control, but it was almost like I was in the back seat of my brain while the front seat was just taking charge, and all of the thoughts were racing by themselves. Like it's like I couldn't stop it. It was almost like, it was hard to detach from that state. After there were concerns on, I guess, my behalf for what was going on, there was an encounter with law enforcement that drove me into actually a worse mental. So an encounter with law enforcement made it worse. That night, after encountering them, I laid in front of an air conditioner it felt like, I guess I was trying to be okay, because it felt like my body was just, like my soul was leaving. I don't know how to explain it. Like my legs went numb. I couldn't move my legs. And in my brain, to justify what was happening, like I was losing myself in my legs, the feeling in my legs. To justify what was happening, I started to think that I was turning into a mermaid. And that could also stem from, so I was taking more context into why I thought I was turning into a mermaid. And I guess like part of the reason was, it sounds silly to say it now, speaking as someone who is no longer believing in these things, but I thought that, I was an Aquarius, and being the water bearer, having to do with water, which I don't know what, because medical professionals never really talked to me about what was going on in my head. Like they didn't actually try to, figure things out firsthand. It was mostly just medication as treatment and making sure I didn't, cause any self-harm. So there was no actual talk about what was happening. Hold on, I know where these pastel houses need to go. So I have a map drawn out. These pastel houses, let's see, these pastel houses go, okay, I see. Dang, this is hard to map, okay? Because I made a 3-page map on my notebook that I also have to conceptualize in my head as to where everything goes from the notebook and then put it onto here in the game. So, okay, so I think the pastel houses... they're gonna be around here. I think I want to put them around here. Okay, we'll put things in spots for now just to like be able to move around them. Josephine Baker, we love Josephine Baker. She was a spy during the French Revolution. She was like, she was also in entertainment, so she was really cool. She had like music sheets with invisible ink in her clothes, and yeah, she was a cool spy. Okay, and then we have Sabuza. Yes, so we will put them here. I'm already kind of seeing my neighborhood just by putting them in the spot. It's kind of weird. Okay, ooh, I'm gonna make them all live in Beaver. Okay, yeah, they all live in Beaver. Okay, so where's the mansions gonna go? Because the castles are gonna go somewhere, and I actually didn't put that on the map. That might be like a different part for another day. I'm going to move them though, because they are definitely in the wrong spot. But the okay, yes, right here. Okay, because this is gonna be the graveyard behind where my grandma's house was. R.I.P. grandma. I actually don't mess with her, but like, you know, R.I.P. I guess. No, don't say I guess. Okay. She was abusive. Yeah. So now we'll take our Candyland / Sonic Heroes house. We're gonna select that. We're gonna move it. Where are they gonna live? They're not gonna be Sonic Heroes anymore because they're gonna be part of the neighborhood. I think I might put them in the Ciabra. Okay. For y'all, for those of who, if you guys don't know what Ciabra is, it's like I think it's Brazilian. It's a supermarket. I could probably just look that up and not cap right now. Is Ciabra Brazil? And Portuguese. Okay. Ciabra is Portuguese. Okay. So they're probably gonna live in the Ciabra. Squidward and SpongeBob, and yeah, I'm gonna put them in this corner right here next to Patrick and Ariel. Okay. Then we got Legends EA, then we got Diamond and Pearl, so Ash, Dawn, Charizard live here. Jacinthe and Lebane live here. Leban, whatever. Okay, so dang, part of, I think, okay, let me try to remember what I was saying. Damn. Okay, so I may end the video here for part 1. Part 2, I'm going to try to figure out where I was and go from there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys stay here for the next part of what this will be. It's going to be a whole neighborhood based in Framingham, Mass. So we're going to recreate Ciabra, Beaver, and Interfaith Terrace. Like and subscribe for more, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.